Good evening, guys. I thought I'd just pop on for a match reaction for the match this evening between Wrexham and Grimsby Town. And yeah, it finished Wrexham 1, Grimsby Town 0. And it happened again, didn't it? The old player syndrome hit the club again. Ollie Palmer with the only goal in 38 on the 38th minute. After we'd had a fairly decent spell to, for the first 20 minutes, it was basically, it was all us really. John McAtee had a couple of chances, and he was by far probably the best player on the pitch for Grimsby all night. I understand how people are getting annoyed, but I'm going to say now that I'm starting to get pissed off. And I am. I'm starting to really get annoyed, really angry at the minute. And it's because, strangely enough, we're not getting thrashed. And that's what's pissing me off. I always say you can take big defeats. You can take 3-4-0 because you know you've been bad. You know you've been bad when that happens. And the fact that we've lost 1-0 again, a narrow defeat again, is more angering than losing big. That is now 2 wins in 13. The annoying part is the lads are playing for him, you can see that. But they just look, after about half an hour, they just look like they don't know what to do. Or when we go behind, we just don't know what to do. I think it's getting harder and harder to support Paul Hurst. It is. It is getting a lot harder to support Paul now. I still am. I still will. But you've got to start. He's got to start getting results now. I look at the next two. One's Wealdstone and on Saturday, and it's Notts County the following Saturday. Paul, you've got to get 2 wins. Plain and simple as that, you've got to get 2 wins. And where I will really, really, really start to question Paul is if we don't beat Wealdstone Saturday. Because although Notts County only drew 0-0 with Wealdstone this evening, so it won't be a gimme by any stretch of imagination, but nah, my frustration's really starting to boil over now. We're not creating what you call clear-cut chances. We're creating just enough. And like I said, what makes it horrible is Wrexham weren't great. You think about it, they had 2 players, right? 2 players, their front 2, are on about £10,000 a week each. £10,000 a week each. Ollie Palmer, apart from their goal, did nothing else. Or hardly anything else. Paul Mullin was about as quiet, he was more quiet than a flute with the object taken out. I'm sat there and I'm listening to the Humberside commentary by John Tondo and Anthony Limbrick. And I'm sat there thinking, how are we losing this? And again, it comes down to substitutions. Hell, he made one before the 70th minute, which was more of a wow-wee, which is what I made. But then, it's like It's like he doesn't trust Max Wright. It's like he doesn't touch. Well, it looks like he doesn't trust anybody on our bench. To me, to be making subs as late as Paul makes them, he cannot trust his bench. He doesn't believe what he's got on his bench is better than what he's got on the field. In my opinion. It looks like he's bereft of ideas. There was discussion last week saying that he's always, he's proactive. Sorry, he's reactive, not proactive. That sums Paul Hurst up. He is. He's reactive. He's not proactive. I'm starting to question whether he reads a game well. And you've got to understand why, because the last 3 or 4 times this is what he's done. I don't think he's read the games very well. It's either he's not reading the games too good, or he's not trusting his squad. Maybe with Max Wright, he's not trusting Max's fitness. So you're telling me Max Wright can't give you 20 minutes? You're telling me Max Wright cannot give you 25 minutes? The lad cannot... If you're not going to get him on loan somewhere. Because he's just on the bench and he's not playing. And no offence, when he's come on a lot of the time, he's been the most effective. John McAtee, everyone will class John McAtee at the minute as our player of the season. Yeah, he's the player of the season. But he can't do it by himself. Tristan, I'm putting that down to match sharpness for Tristan. What I heard on commentary is that he may have missed a real good chance if he just stuck his foot out. From where they were sitting, it didn't look that far away from him. Obviously, when highlights come out, I'll have a look if that is shown. But, nah. This is the first time in a while I've started to question not the player's effort, not the player's determination, not the work rate of the players. I don't question that at all. This is the first time I've really semi-questioned Paul. Because the last 3 or 4 games, if you've either been or whether you've been or whether you've heard them on the radio, they all seem to have the same pattern. Grimsby seem to be playing with the same pattern. And it's frustrating, like I've said, because we're not getting thrashed. We're not getting basically our arses handed to us. We're not. And that's the annoying thing. Because if he was, that's where he could go, pull the trigger board, because he's not doing the job. Results-wise, 2 wins in 13, that's not good enough. I'm not delusional to think that's good enough. 2 wins in 13? No, that isn't good enough. And people are probably right. It would get you the sack in any other job, to be honest. Any other football club. It would probably get you the sack. And I'm not going to sit here and deny that, even though I like Paul Hurst. But we have to look at Wealdstone and we have to look at Notts County. If he can't pick up 4 points from those 2 games, even I might be starting to turn to a Hurst out situation. Like I said, I will accept a top half finish. And I said that on my preview one right at the beginning, my preview video right at the beginning of the season. I'll accept a top half finish. We drop outside the top 11 and we finish outside the top 11. I'm not accepting that. Don't care whether I like the manager or whether I don't like the manager. That is unacceptable. The performances aren't unacceptable from Town at the moment. The results are getting that way. But they're only getting that way because they are so the same pattern. Every game is doing the same thing. He's making the subs when he's making them, but I don't know what he's seeing to make the changes that he's having to make. Why not sling another winger on? Why not give Max Wright 15 minutes? Why not give Max Wright 15 minutes? So obviously he's saying that he doesn't believe Max Wright can give him 15 minutes. We needed a winger on that pitch tonight, by the sounds of what I heard. Why Anthony Lindbergh kept saying that? Why didn't he take Coke off and put on an extra winger? What, you know, and I don't normally get like this, but it's all the same pattern. Everything is the same. The reason why we're losing is the same. It's not because the players aren't good enough. It isn't because of that. Because if you can literally shut a £20,000 a week strike force and literally keep them quiet for a majority of the damn game, it ain't the squad. What's doing it is that when we go back, when we go behind, we seem to have the fight, but we have no direction as to what to do with it. Sousa, I can understand why Darlington said he can be absolutely glorious in one sense, but my God, he can be infuriating. He's got to get his decisions right, which he doesn't do. That's what he's got to do. He's got to be making better decisions. Everybody does. Everybody needs to make better decisions on the field. Are they a good side? Yes, we are a good side. We're not a bad side. Okay, if we were a bad side, we'd have been thrashed there tonight. We'd have been well beaten against Bromley. We weren't. We were beaten by 1 goal. But it's getting to the point where it's not about bad luck. It is about game management by the players on the pitch, decision making by people off it, as in the management, and the players on it. The actual decision making on the field is absolutely appalling. And now even I'm starting to question Hurst's decision making off the field in regards to when he looks at that bench, saw what bench that he had, and he wouldn't bring a winger on. He brought Burgess on. Was one of his last. Burgess looks fairly decent. But you needed somebody to attack their wing backs. We didn't do that. You know, to attack Hall Johnson and that. We needed somebody to attack that. We didn't. We went narrow. You know, and this is like, you know, I can take losing games. And am I saying the lads aren't trying? No, I'm not. I'm not trying. I'm not saying they're not trying. They are trying their damnedest in a way. But again, how many clear-cut saves did their keeper have to make? After the first 15, 20 minutes, not many. A couple of positives, like I've already said. One is there was a strike force there that was on about 20 grand a week between them. 20 grand, 20 grand between them a week. And we kept them quiet for the most part. Most other teams won't do that. Ollie Palmer will score goals for Wrexham alongside Paul Mullin. But they weren't much better than we were. And that's the real angering point for me. They were not much better than we were. But their game management is better than ours. Their decision making is better than ours. And Phil Parkinson's substitution decisions are better than Paul Hurst's. That's it. What's wrong when people ask on Humberside what's missing? What's missing is decision making. The players on the pitch are making the wrong decisions. There was one, I think, where John McAtee had it in the middle of the park. And he played a pass, but he played it too late. And I believe Limbrick said on commentary, Sousa's got to make the run. There's no point McAtee making the pass off if Sousa's not reading it and making the run himself. The reason why we are on this rotten run is bench-wise, we're not making the decisions. Right. And on the field, the players are not doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. The decision-making from the boys is not good. They've got to start thinking about what they are doing. And the reason why Paul Hurst won't be let go at the minute is because we're not losing 3-0. We're not doing a Russell Slade in the sense of we're not being beaten 2 or 3-0 every week, which we were under Russell. And that's why in the end, when Russell went 18 games, which Paul is getting very close to, but he went 18 straight games without a win. The trouble is, Paul hasn't got 18 straight games without a win. I haven't been this animated on a Grimsby video for a long, long time, but this one really has frustrated me. And it really has frustrated me. Grimsby fans, give me your opinion. What do you think? What do you think of the result tonight? I can imagine none of us are going to be happy. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them asking for Paul's head. I'm heading more in that direction at the moment. But just more for the fact that we're not losing heavily. And that is what's making the losses hurt more. That also shows that we're not a bad side either. And that's what's making it so much more frustrating. That's it from me. Leave me your comments down below, Grimsby fans. Let me know what you think. Are you happy? Are you travelling back from Wrexham with the 250 people, I believe, that were there tonight? Let me know what you think, because at the minute, I am so frustrated in what Grimsby are doing right now. We're not playing badly, but our decision making is appalling. It's shit. Our decision making is shit. And that's it. Our decision making is so poor. I can't believe it. I'll be back with another video very soon. Probably a preview of the upcoming Wealdstone game. And any more information leading up to the end of the transfer window. But give me your opinions. I can't wait for this.